Nobody could touch this aggressive German shepherd until a little girl changed everything. The wind howled through the small town of Willow Creek, a place where everyone knew everyone, and secrets were as rare as a summer storm. Tucked at the edge of town, on a sprawling property lined with oak trees, stood the old Miller farm. It was a place of beauty, with rolling fields and a rustic barn. But it was also a place of fear. The source of that fear, a massive German shepherd named Titan. Titan wasn't always the terror of Willow Creek. 5 years ago, he'd been a loyal companion to Old Man Miller, a gruff but kind-hearted farmer who'd raised him from a pup. Titan had been the sort of dog who'd bound through the fields, tail wagging, eager to please. But when Miller passed away unexpectedly, everything changed. The farm was left to a distant nephew, a city man named Greg, who had no patience for country life or for Titan. Greg tried to sell the farm, but buyers were scarce. The house was old, the barn needed repairs, and then there was Titan. The dog, grieving and confused, became a shadow of his former self. He'd pace the property, his once bright eyes now dark and wary. When anyone approached delivery drivers, realtors, or curious neighbors, Titan would erupt into a frenzy of barks and snarls, his teeth bared, his hackles raised. He'd lunge at the fence, and more than one person had fled in terror. "He's a monster," Greg would mutter, tossing scraps over the gate rather than stepping inside. "No one's going to buy this place with that beast around." The townsfolk agreed. Stories about Titan spread like wildfire. He bit a mailman, one rumor went, though no one could confirm it. "He's half-wolf," another claimed, pointing to his piercing amber eyes. Kids dared each other to sneak onto the property, but none got close. Titan was untouchable, a living legend, the kind of dog you cross the street to avoid. Enter Lily Harper, a 7-year-old girl with a mop of curly brown hair and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Lily wasn't like the other kids in Willow Creek. She didn't care for dolls or video games. Instead, she spent her days exploring the woods, collecting rocks, and talking to animal squirrels, birds, even the neighbor's grumpy cat. To Lily, every creature had a story, and she was determined to hear them all. Lily's mom, Sarah, was a single mother who ran the town's only bakery. They lived in a modest house just a mile from the Miller farm, close enough for Lily to hear Titan's howls at night. Most kids would have been scared, but Lily was intrigued. "Why's he so mad?" she'd ask, pressing her face against the window. Sarah, exhausted from long days at the bakery, would sigh. "Some dogs are just mean, sweetheart. Stay away from that one." But Lily couldn't stay away. Her heart, big and boundless, tugged her toward the mystery of Titan. One crisp autumn afternoon, while Sarah was busy at the bakery, Lily slipped out of the house. She wore her favorite red jacket, a backpack stuffed with snacks, and a determined look. She was going to meet the monster dog. The Miller farm was quiet when Lily arrived, the gate creaking as she pushed it open. She'd heard the stories how Titan had chased a realtor halfway down the road, how he'd torn a delivery van's tire to shreds. But Lily wasn't afraid. She believed in animals, believed they could understand her if she tried hard enough. "Titan," she called softly, stepping into the yard. The barn loomed ahead, its paint peeling, and the fields stretched out, golden under the setting sun. For a moment, there was silence. Then, from the shadows of the porch, came a low, rumbling growl. Titan emerged like a storm cloud, his black and tan coat bristling, his ears pinned back. He was enormous, his muscles rippling under his fur, his teeth glinting in the light. He stalked toward Lily, his growl growing louder, his eyes locked on her. Most people would have run, but Lily stood her ground. She tilted her head, studying him. "You're not a monster," she said, her voice steady. "You're just sad." Titan stopped, his growl faltering. He'd never heard a voice like her, soft, unafraid, almost musical. Lily reached into her backpack and pulled out a piece of jerky, one she'd swiped from the pantry. She tossed it gently, letting it land halfway between them. Titan stared at the jerky, then at her. His instinct screamed danger, but something in her eyes held him back. He retreated to the porch, watching her warily as he ate. "That's a start," Lily said, smiling. She sat cross-legged on the grass, far enough to give him space, but close enough to show she wasn't leaving. She pulled out a book Charlotte's Web and began reading aloud, her voice carrying across the yard. "Some pig," she read, glancing at Titan. "You're some dog. You know that?" Titan didn't move, but his ears twitched. He wasn't used to this. People yelled, threw things, or ran. This girl just sat there, talking to him like he was a friend. For the first time in years, his tail gave a hesitant wag. Lily came back the next day, and the day after that. Each time, she brought a tree jerky, a biscuit, once even a slice of her mom's famous apple pie. She'd read to Titan, tell him stories about her day, or sing off-key songs she made up on the spot. "Titan, Titan, big and strong, you're not scary all day long," she'd chant, giggling. Titan began to change. His growls softened. His hackles stayed down. He'd inch closer each visit, until one day he lay down just a few feet from her, his head resting on his paws, listening as she read about Wilbur, the pig. Lily noticed his eyes weren't so hard anymore. They were sad, yes, but also curious, like he was trying to figure her out. The breakthrough came on a rainy afternoon. Lily arrived, soaked to the bone, her red jacket dripping. She'd forgotten her umbrella, but hadn't wanted to miss their daily meeting. Titan was waiting under the porch, his fur matted from the drizzle. Lily sat closer than usual, shivering as she pulled out her book. "You look cold," she said, as if he could answer. "I bet you miss your person, don't you? I miss my dad sometimes. He's not here anymore, but Mom says he's watching us. Maybe your person's watching you too." Titan let out a low whine, a sound so soft it surprised them both. He crawled forward, his belly scraping the ground until his nose brushed her knee. Lily froze, her heart pounding. Slowly she reached out, her hand trembling, and touched his head. His fur was wet but warm, and he didn't pull away. "You're not mean," she whispered, tears mixing with the rain on her cheeks. "You're just lonely." From that day on, Titan was different. He'd bound to the gate when Lily arrived, his tail wagging like a metronome. He'd let her pet him, nuzzle her hand, even roll over for belly rubs. The townsfolk began to notice. "That dog's possessed," one said, watching Titan trot happily beside Lily. "It's a miracle," said another. But miracles don't go unnoticed, and soon Greg caught wind of the change. He'd been in the city, trying to unload the farm, when a neighbor called about some kid taming that beast. Greg drove back, dollar signs in his eyes. If Titan was friendly now, the farm might finally sell. He found Lily and Titan in the yard, Lily braiding wildflowers into a crown for the dog. Titan wore it proudly, his tongue lolling out. Greg clapped his hands, startling them both. "Well, I'll be damned," he said. "You fixed him, kid. What's your secret?" Lily frowned, clutching Titan's collar. "He's not fixed. He's my friend." Greg laughed, a harsh sound. "Friend, huh? Well, your friend's gonna make me rich. I'm putting this place on the market tomorrow. Dog stays with the property buyers, love a guard dog." Lily's stomach dropped. "You can't take him away. He needs me, needs you." Greg scoffed. "He's a dog, kid. He'll be fine. Now scram, I've got calls to make." Lily ran home, sobbing. Sarah, alarmed, tried to comfort her, but Lily was inconsolable. "They're gonna take Titan," she cried. "He'll be sad again, Mom. He'll be mean again." Sarah's heart ached. She knew the farm was a sore spot for the town, and she'd heard about Lily sneaking off to see the dog. She'd meant to stop it, but seeing her daughter's pain, she realized how deep the bond had grown. "We'll figure something out," she promised, though she wasn't sure how. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling, thinking of Titan alone in the dark, his tail no longer wagging. She had to do something. Slipping out of bed, she grabbed her flashlight and crept back to the farm. Titan was waiting, as if he knew she'd come. He whined, pressing his nose against the gate. Lily climbed over, wrapping her arms around him. "I won't let them take you," she whispered. "We're gonna run away," was a childish plan, born of desperation. Lily led Titan into the woods, her flashlight bobbing in the dark. They didn't get far. The woods were dense, and Lily was small. She tripped, scraping her knee, and Titan nudged her, whimpering. She started to cry, realizing she had no idea where they were going. Back in town, Sarah woke to find Lily's bed empty. Panic set in. She called the neighbors, the sheriff, anyone who'd listen. Soon, half of Willow Creek was searching the woods, their flashlights cutting through the night. It was old Mrs. Jenkins, the town's nosiest resident, who found them. She'd always had a soft spot for strays, and when she saw Lily curled up against Titan, the dog standing protectively over her, she gasped. "Lord have mercy," she muttered, radioing the sheriff. The town rallied around Lily and Titan. When Greg tried to push the sale, the community pushed back. Mrs. Jenkins started a petition to save the farm, and Sarah, inspired by her daughter's courage, dipped into her savings to make an offer. It wasn't much, but with the town's help, donations, fundraisers, even a bake sale at the bakery, they scraped together enough to buy the property. Greg, sensing the tide turning, took the money and left. The farm became a community haven, a place for kids to play, for families to picnic, and for Titan to roam free. Lily was his official caretaker, though everyone knew Titan belonged to her in a way no one could explain. Years later, the story of Lily and Titan became Willow Creek's favorite tale. Visitors would come to see the miracle dog, now graying but still majestic, and the girl who'd tamed him, now a teenager with the same bright eyes. They'd walk the fields together, Lily's hand resting on Titan's back, and people would whisper, nobody could touch that dog till she did. And Titan, he never growled again. He'd found his person, and she'd found him. In a world full of fear and misunderstanding, they'd built something unbreakably bond that changed everything.